and welcome to episode, you saw the title of the This Old Knit podcast. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine, on Ravelry, Instagram, and Pinterest, and you can find show notes for this episode and all previous episodes on the corresponding numbered thread of the This Old Knit podcast. So hey guys, it's been a while for a normal podcast at least, and yeah, I've been doing Vlogmas, so it's probably going to be a little bit confusing as to what I have and have not shared with you. I'm in a different location today. I'm actually in my dining room, but that's where we have the Christmas tree set up. So I thought I'd try to be a little bit festive today. And also I am short on time, so I wanted to make sure I recorded a podcast episode since it's been 3 weeks. And I didn't have time to drag everything upstairs, get everything set up, and get broken down before everyone got back from the gym. And today we're actually going to have lunch with my dad and stepmom and my sister and niece. I haven't seen my dad in person in about 2 years. Lots of factors played into that, not necessarily anything from a falling out standpoint or anything like that, but he retired 3 years ago, I think. And ever since then, I've actually seen him less than I saw him when he was working. He bought a house that was further away and is fixing it up, doing all the work himself. So he's really spending a lot of time doing that. And I think he's just about done at this point. But then he was ill, his wife was ill, then I was ill, the kids were ill. The timing never worked out. And to go and drive to see him would be almost a 2-hour drive, at least, probably more like 2.5 hours. So we had originally planned on trying to camp down near him and then fit in a couple of visits with the kids. But we didn't get a lot of camping in this year either because we did a lot of stuff with our yard instead. I'm trying to hold my project up, and I should just move it because the yarn ball keeps rolling around. And you are stuck in my potted plant. It's holding you up. Thank you, Anthurium. So I'm really excited to see him and see her, and the kids will be able to see them, which will be really nice. They haven't seen Joshua since he was a baby, so he's going to be really different. Yeah. So long story short, I have to make this episode not as rambly and long as normal, and I'm already not off to a great start. So it's kind of gray and cloudy outside today. I think it's supposed to snow, which would be nice. We have not had a lot of snow yet. Really, we haven't had any. We have had a dusting, and that's all. And I'm gonna take my tea out of here. I made some tea right before the episode. I'm going to do my best to not cough, but I've been quite sick. And the weekend before, last weekend, when my normal recording schedule would have been, Joshua was very sick. He had a fever. And so when my husband went to the gym, normally he would take the kids, but they have a rule about if your child has a fever, they need to be, 24 hours fever free. So he had to stay home with me. That's essentially my podcasting time. And then Sunday I had to do something. Oh, Saturday I actually had to work for a little while. And then my husband went to the gym. So then Sunday we were trying to do all the stuff we needed to do for the week. This is one of my new mugs. I don't know if I showed this to you guys. I have no idea what I showed you in the last episode. It's been so long. But it's a sock monkey. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. He's even got the little knit stitches. And I love that he has 2 handles. Once the tea has cooled down a little bit, it's actually kind of inconvenient if your beverage is very hot because your hand is super close to the cup. But once it's cooled down, it's actually quite nice to like hook a couple of fingers in there. I'm gonna burn myself trying to show you. It's really comfortable to hold the cup. That is super hot. This is Candy Cane Crush Tea from David's Tea. It's a black tea with snowflake shaped sprinkles, and there are white chocolate chips in it, and then it's kind of a vanilla peppermint flavored black tea. I think there's also some crushed candy cane in there. So it's pretty sweet on its own. I usually add a little bit of creamer, but I was trying to be fast, so I don't have creamer in there right now. Shoot, I forgot an object. I'm gonna go grab it. So I only have one FO to share this week, and they are my socks. I think I had them cast on the last episode, but I'm not sure. They are knit out of Crazy Zauberball, and Crazy Zauberball lived up to its name with these socks. So it is a colorway that means parrot in German. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. It looks like Papa G-E-I, but I looked it up and it means popinjay or parrot. So the first sock looked like this. I used a contrasting color for the heel. This is handmade in Casbah. I don't remember the colorway name because I've had it for a really long time in my stash. But the first sock looked like this, kind of old-timey Christmas. I really like it. It's kind of marled in the colors, so they very nicely and gently blended into one another. The second sock started out well enough, and then this happened. I don't know, it was just like a big, huge area of all solid, bright red. But by the time I realized it was going to be that big of a thing, I was like, I'm not ripping these back. So I just finished it, and then it went back to being all calm and normal. I probably have enough to squeeze a third sock out of it, so I could knit it and make a matching sock most likely, but I'm gonna let Crazy Zauberball be Crazy Zauberball. So those are my Isle of Misfit socks, Christmas socks. And I am going to enter them as one of my pair in the OXO Socks Knit Along in Kristen's group, the Yarngasm podcast group. And I'm also participating in the Festive Sock Along in the Stranded podcast group. That's one I've more recently started watching with the dyer behind Stranded Dye Works. Amy Florence, I think is her name. It's a pretty good one. Kind of catching up on back episodes. So those are done, and that leaves me with 2 pair that I need to complete to finish my box of socks cal. It's looking pretty doable. I had a couple pair that were whips that had just been sitting for a little while, so I picked those back up because I didn't think I could complete 2 full pair of socks before the end of the year. Whenever I say before the end of the year, I always want to say before the end of the fiscal year. If I say that, I'm sorry. I've worked in finance for a really long time at this point. I think in fiscal years now, and I have to restrain myself from saying it. So the whip that I picked up is my Felici socks knit on old Felici base that I got from my Aunt Lynn's stash. This is in the Summer Berries colorway. Actually, my mom gave this to me, so it was before my Aunt Lynn passed away. She had given this to my mom, and they weren't really my mom's bag. Mom's not really a pinky, purpley kind of person. At least she doesn't wear a lot of those colors. So they are bringing them closer. It's a plum colored stripe, then a, what would you call it, raspberry, like a bubblegum pink, a very pale pink, and a lavender. So here's my first sock. I did a contrasting heel and toe with Knit Picks Hawthorne in the Turkish Delight colorway. I've used this also as the contrasting heel and toe on my chocolate Easter Bunny socks. I feel like I'm really far from you. Having to lean forward a lot. So I finished sock number 1, and then I cast on sock number 2, and that's when I started getting sick. I haven't had a fever, but I've had a cold probably since the week before American Thanksgiving. I picked up something from Joshua or from people at work. People at work have been coming in sick. And I think last time I podcast, I actually had that cold. Well, that cold stayed with me all the way through last weekend. And then last weekend, when Joshua got sick, probably Monday, something felt like it changed. And I had all this sinus pressure and pain, like here, lots of coughing and stuff. And so I went to the doctor on Wednesday. Monday and Tuesday I worked like normal. And then Wednesday, I was like, nope, I'm gonna go in and get it checked out. It's been too long. And sure enough, I had a sinus infection, which is what I suspected. So I'm on antibiotics now, and I actually feel a lot better. So, you know, that's good. So I'm hoping that I will kick this very soon, because I don't want to be sick for the holidays. That sucks. No one wants that. So anyway, I cast on the second sock. Yarn down. Have to go get that. It's all on my dining room table, but I'm kind of on the end of it, so things are going to fall. And this is how far I've gotten. I turned the heel this morning. I couldn't sleep. So I just got up like at 3:30 or something, turned the heels, started the gusset, and I believe that I am done with the gusset decreases. I may have just finished. I think I just finished. So I just have the foot and just the foot to work. And then I will have one more pair of socks that I need to complete for the OXO Socks Cow. This is one of my acquisitions, but I will show it now because it's on this project and I don't want to get it back out. It is a stitch marker from Little Bitty Delights. And it's a s'more. Isn't it so cute? I love that graham cracker. It's amazing. And it's got a little marshmallow and chocolate. Yeah, it's super cute. And I ordered 3. She was having some kind of... No, I had a coupon code from the Gilmore Girls Club from the Yarn at Home Mom. She heard a really weird sound. Okay, the Yarn at Home Mom's Gilmore Girls Club comes with a stitch marker every month, and several of the months have been Little Bitty Delights. And for people participating in that club, we got a 10% off coupon to go and purchase from the shop. So I used that when she restocked her shop with holiday charms because I wanted to get a couple of Christmas stitch markers because I don't have any and I'm doing a lot of Christmas knitting. I have one, but now I have more. I had a Santa one. Okay, they're there. I was like, did I bring my other socks? This is how I normally hold it, and it's really convenient. I couldn't figure that out when it was scalding my hand. Okay, so that's those socks. And then so I can get this off of my lap, oh, there's my tape measure. My mom asked me to measure Megwin and Joshua, and I have not been able to find a tape measure to do it. I've wanted to, but every time that I'm like, okay guys, we're gonna measure you, no tape measure. So I have one in this bag. Remember, Nina, you have one in your bag with Megwin's sweater. Speaking of Megwin's sweater. Okay, so this is the Christmas sweater I'm knitting for Megwin. I am 99% done with it. All I have to do is pick up the stitches for the neckband and knit it. So I will probably do that today, maybe on the way to see my dad and stepmom, because my husband will be driving, and it's just picking up stitches around a neckband and knitting 2x2 rib. I should have it done in no time. So here it is. This is the So Faded pint sized. I knit the size 8, but it seems smaller than I would say is a standard size 8 because it fits Megwin very well. And Megwin is a very slender 8-year-old. She's like 10th percentile for weight or something like that. So just something to keep in mind. If your 8-year-old is an average sized 8-year-old, your mileage may vary on if this sweater is going to be big enough for them or not. So coming closer, it has garter on the shoulders. I knit 3/4 sleeves because that's what Megwin said she wanted, and I like 3/4 sleeves too. So obviously, because the stitch count was much less on the sleeves, I have much larger color blocks, but I think that's fine. It looks cute still. And I had an issue with the yarn where it got really thick for a very large part, so I actually wound off like a little nugget of yarn that was spun hugely thicker. I knit about this much of the arm, and then I was like, no, it looks terrible. And the color was really weird, so I just wound it off and found the next place where this peach started, and it was fine. So it was just a weird little place in the ball where it wasn't spun the same. I knit it on size 5 needles. I knit the ribbing on the bottom extra deep so that it would fit her for longer, so it has extra length. If I had knit it to the size of waistband that it said, like it called for 2 inches of ribbing, it would fit her okay right now, but it probably would not fit her next winter. And I think with the way I've knit it, it will fit her next winter. I'm gonna hold on to the yarn that I have left from this because I have quite a bit left. I had just dipped into the second ball for the sleeves. So I knit the entire body out of one skein of Knit Picks Chroma, which I haven't said what it is yet. So it's Knit Picks Chroma in the Buttermint colorway, which I think is not a color that they carry any longer, but you probably could find it on D-stashes if you are so inclined. And I do really love the pastel colors. They look really, really good on with Megwin's blonde hair, and she has very bright blue eyes. So it just looks really good on her. So hopefully I'll finish that up today. I will block it, and then next weekend is when we're doing all of the birthday festivities. So her friend Emma has a birthday party. She's gonna have a sleepover at Emma's, and then they're bringing her to the gingerbread building party, which is what we do for her every year for her birthday. Megwin, not Emma. But we get together with Emma, her parents, and her little brother Aaron, and all 4 kids build gingerbread houses together. I look forward to it every year because Joshua typically loses interest about halfway through his gingerbread house, so I get to build a gingerbread house, which is kind of awesome. So they have the gingerbread houses already built for you. You just come in, they've got the icing in an icing bag. They have all the candies that you could ever wish for, and they give the kids like little paper boats, and they can just go up as many times as they want and request what kinds of candy to put in it. There's a hot chocolate fountain. It's magical. I love it. And then I don't have to clean up anything. You just bring your gingerbread house home. Put that tape measure back in there. I'm gonna move a chair over here so I can put things down on it and not throw them on the floor. Okay, next up, a surprise that I can't show you. But it was living in this bag, which was another acquisition from Knit Picks. It's Sparkles the Knitting Unicorn. He's so cute. And it's just a drawstring bag, but I love it so much. I also have a keychain that matches this. So cute. Knit Picks really stepped up their game this year. They had, I don't think it was Black Friday, but it was like the whole week of Thanksgiving. They had like a daily deal. One day they had Felici really cheap. They had like these things, and they had a keychain and enamel pin deal together. They had a lot of good stuff this year. So I may have done some damage with that. I did a lot of damage this year as far as Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and Cyber Monday. There were just some really good deals from pattern designers and yarn dyers and Knit Picks and sewing patterns and Amazon. Yeah. But that's okay. I'm going to use it all, and I'm really excited about everything I bought. No regrets. None at all. Okay. Moving right along. In my freshly sewn project bag, which if you've been watching my Vlogmas, you would have seen my process of making said bags. I don't know what I did here. Like, I put this handle down really low. I usually put them up here. I don't know what I was thinking, putting it halfway down, but it's okay. It's just for me, so who cares? Whatever. I've had this bag cut out since last Christmas. I just never sewed it because I was having issues with my sewing machine last Christmas. And then this summer, I bought a new Janome 2212 or something like that. I bought a Janome machine on the advice of Kristen. It's the same one as she has, and I love it. It's awesome. It's just a great workhorse machine. So I eventually got around to sewing this bag up. So I'll bring it closer. I love this fabric so much. It's a very non-traditional Christmas print. I love that it's on a black background, and it's got all these great Christmas baubles. And then this fabric matches that one that's kind of up in the middle. It's like a rust color. It's kind of showing up more red, but this is actually red. And it is not the same color. I just have really weird lighting in here today. Because I have my overhead lights on, and then I have the windows open, so I think my camera doesn't know what to do with itself. But anyway, I love it. It makes me happy. And inside this bag is my last set of socks that I need to complete for the Box of Socks cow. I will admit to being a little bit cheaty with this pair, knowing that my time is limited. I went for a sock that incorporates slip stitches because I will have to do less knitting to complete the sock. Sorry, my cardigan is like, it keeps falling off. It's very annoying. I might just button one of the buttons so that it doesn't do that. That would be smart, wouldn't it? There we go. Okay. So this is the Caramel Latte pattern by CC Allman. I knit a pair of these last year when I was doing the cow that CC Allman was hosting in the Geeky Girls Knits podcast group. it was for her and her daughter, Dammy's book. And you had to knit all of the patterns out of the book. And I did complete that last year. I didn't win anything. But one day, when I was at work, knitting these and thinking about what I was gonna do to be able to finish the cowl in time, I looked down and I had on my pair of socks that I knit last year. And they were made out of hedgehog fibers sock in the birthday cake colorway. And I thought, you know what? Those were really fast because you slip the yarn in front of 4 slip stitches and you just kind of spiral it around the sock. So only every other row are you knitting a full round. So you're knitting like half the stitches every other row. So I thought, well, if I do those, I probably can get that last pair in. So I cast them on. No, they're the peppermint mocha socks, not the caramel latte socks. The caramel latte socks are complicated. Not complicated, but they are like a very patterned sock, and it's knits and purl stitches. I'm gonna just come closer because this is ridiculous. I'm leaning really far forward to get to you guys. So it's a knit and purl pattern. It was not memorizable for me, at least. So yeah, this is the peppermint mocha pattern. And it is knit in peppermint mocha yarn from No Makers. This is on the Bungalow Gnome base, which is a BFL sock base. I really love it. And that was my only Christmas Progress Keeper before now. Isn't he cute? It's a happy little Santa. So this is what I have so far. I'm only on the first leg, but as you saw, I've almost completed my Summer Berries socks. So I feel pretty confident that I can punch out this sock and one more sock before the end of December. I have some days off coming up. I'm gonna have a 4-day weekend next weekend and then a 5-day weekend, right? Christmas. Because Christmas is on a Monday this year, and I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna go to work on Tuesday after Christmas because we'll probably be at my mom's and then we'd be driving back late, and I didn't want to like have to get up and go to work the next day. So I took the Tuesday off and the Friday off. So I'll have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 5 days, not a lot of stuff that I need to do. I'm basically done with gift knitting. The only thing I have left to do is Megwin's sweater. So I can focus on socks. I might try to squeeze in something for my sister, but what I'm thinking of isn't going to take very long. Maybe like a day. Usually I give her and my niece money because my niece is going to be 16 the day after Christmas, and 16-year-olds want money anyway. It's the truth. I acknowledge the reality of this truth, and we're moving on. All right. This is another bag that I completed. So I have a lot of FOs, but they're all sewing FOs. This one is knit out of some delightful pumpkin fabric. I got this on sale at Joann's for like $1.99 a yard. So I got a yard of this and a yard of the lining fabric. So this is like a $4 bag, which is awesome. And I think I had a coupon. So looking at it closer, taking the fuzz off of it, see, it's fun little pumpkins, and it's on, what is going on with my lighting? I might turn off my overhead light. Let's see what happens if I do that. Do you like that, camera? You do like that. Yes, you do. Should have done that earlier. All right. Brown fabric, pumpkins. This is grosgrain ribbon, and it's got this fun little faux stitching pattern. I have this in a couple different colors. I really, really like it. And I love the grosgrain ribbon handles. They're great. And see, again, I put that handle really low. I don't know, people. I don't know. It was late. I was mass producing these things. I don't know. I claim ignorance. Okay, and inside of it is cream colored and something weird. Oh, it's a wrinkle. Cream colored pumpkins on a like taupe background and a fun orange zip. And inside of this is my snowfall socks. I don't think I've knit much on these, if anything at all, since last time I showed them. But I will mention them because there is a knit along going on for them. So these are a pattern by Tabitha Gandy, who is Tabby, and I always forget the name of their podcast. Oh my God. It's two sisters. They haven't done a podcast in a while because one of them just had their baby and the other one is due very soon. So I'm knitting this out of Wool and Vine Yarns in the Wilderness base. Kristen doesn't carry this base anymore, but I love it so much. Maybe someday she'll carry it again. It is a merino, nylon, and mohair blend. So the mohair gives it a really nice fuzzy halo. You can kind of see that on the top of it there. This is in the Goth Day Cake colorway. And as I said, these are the snowfall socks. So if you follow the link for Tabitha from her pattern, you'll be able to get to her podcast. And in their podcast group, she's doing a knit along for all of her sock designs, I think through the new year at least. That's really gonna bug me that I don't remember what their podcast. I can't check it either because I'm using my phone to record. Okay. So anyway, I might work on these once I finish the other ones. If I have time, I might work on these. It's been 30 minutes, so I'm running out of time, guys. Next whip. This bag is an old bag. I made it last year, I think, in the fall time frame. Inside of it is a new acquisition that I got since last time I podcast, but I already cast it on. So it's Jinx Yarns. I've been a Jinx Yarns wool piggy. This is in her hand turkey colorway, and it is on her strong sock self-striping. So it's an 80/20 superwash merino nylon, 400 yards. And you guys, this yarn is amazing. It's a hot mess from a cake perspective, but it's so beautiful. I tried to match my bag to it, and I think it does a pretty good job. So as I said, I did cast on this sock. I cast this on for Thanksgiving, so I did a Thanksgiving cast on this year. And I don't have a ton done on it because I knew I had to stop. I couldn't finish this whole sock pair in time, so I'm kind of putting aside anything that I can't complete. But this is what I knit on Thanksgiving Day. So it has an orange stripe, a red stripe, a light brown stripe, and then a dark brown stripe and a yellow stripe. So that's the striping sequence. And I love it so much. This totally looks like turkey feathers. It's mottled and it's got a little bit of kind of that purpley brown, which they have in their feathers. We used to have wild turkeys that lived in our backyard when we were in California, my husband and I, and the dogs loved to chase them. Like, that was so fun for them. So we saw turkeys a lot in California. And I'm just doing a vanilla sock since it's a self-striping. I just wanted to let it be what it was going to be. That's all my whips that are on the floor. This is a sewing whip. I have 2 more bags that I cut out and zippered that I have not completed. this is one of them. And you can tell I cut my lining like really off from my outer fabric. I don't know what I was doing. I really don't. But it's cupcake fabric. And then it has, the bottom is this notebook paper fabric. This is from a fabric bundle that was called School Days. So it has a lot of different patterns like this. And then this chevrons is also from that fabric pack. It's Riley Blake Designs. That's probably why it's off, because I didn't want the selvage. I just left the selvage on. So I will just sew that seam and then I'll trim it. And sometimes I do that just being lazy. So that's gonna be my lining. And then I did a kind of chocolate colored zip, and I'm gonna use a chocolate colored grosgrain ribbon as the handle. And this time I will remember to put it up higher on the bag. Okay. Last knitting whip. I have been working a ton on my glittery blanket of unicorns and magic. I knit on it when I was really sick, because it's low-key and does not require brain power at all. I've been knitting on it at night before I go to bed, because again, it doesn't require any brain power, so it's a nice thing to do when I'm kind of trying to relax and go to sleep. Okay. For those of you just joining me, this is the 10-stitch blanket by Frankie Brown. I'm knitting this particular one. I have another one on the needles that's in worsted weight. This one is sock weight. I'm knitting it only out of sparkle yarn bases, both commercial and indie dyed. Right now I think this is all indie dyed yarn. Yeah, it is all indie dyed yarn. Most of it is also the Yarn at Home Mom yarn, all from my Gilmore Girls packs. So what I'm trying to do here is to have your eyes follow the spiral rather than look, boop, 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 boop. So like this. So I'm trying to do colors that fade into each other kind of, or look complementary with one another, and I think I've done a pretty good job so far. Nothing is really like staring out at me. My husband helped me lay stuff together to see. I'm really enjoying it, and it's obviously going to get more scrappy as it gets further out, but in the center I wanted to make sure I didn't have anything that was just glaring like crazy. So yeah, the only one that's not Yarn at Home Mom is this one right here, which is Volan Vine Yarns in the Reflector colorway. And otherwise, I have stuck with Yarn at Home Mom. Unfortunately, I don't know what all the different colors are. I know this one is Paris Needs No Embellishment, and the sparkles are not going to show up at all because of the lighting. But one thing about the Yarn at Home Mom sparkle is it's a little more subtle. So her sparkle base is called the Shimmer Base, and it is more of a shimmer than like an outright sparkle. It's very beautiful, but sparkle is already notoriously hard to capture on either film or video. So then if it's a subtle sparkle, it's going to be that much harder. So that's that. I'm almost done with the skein I'm currently working on, the mini. And I'm having fun with it. I think there's some no makers coming up pretty soon in my color progression. Okay. Cross stitch. I may or may not be able to show you this, because I had just moved my, let's It's not gonna be very good. I actually covered up most of what I progressed with. I finished my key lime square. I did show it in my Vlogmas from 2 days ago. So if you want to see it, you can. I moved this over though so I could start on the pies down here, because this is all we have for this row. We just have 2. And then we have the full row down below that's been released. And this is a 12-month stitch along with the frosted pumpkin stitchery, and it's called the Sweetest Pie Stitch Along. So this is the Sweetest Pie pattern. I bought the kit, so it has sparkly fabric, and you can totally see the sparkles there. So we get a slice of pie every month, and then the recipe along with it to be able to make it for yourself. I haven't made any of them yet, but I want to. So yeah, I'm having fun with that. And maybe I will work on that also. Maybe I'll take this in the car too. Cross stitch is a harder thing for me to get a chance to do because it requires more setup. I don't know though, I'm on a deadline for those box of socks, Cal. Okay, so now we've come to acquisitions, of which there are many, as I said. But I have to run through them fast because I'm running out of time. Oh boy. Let me get that skein. I don't want to leave it sitting on the floor. I don't actually need to share this with you because I'm not going to cast it on yet. But I do have a, whatever, fine, I'll show it to you. I want to knit a pair of the Selbu mittens from the Mitten Club with these 2 yarns. So this is a hint of moss in Wool and Vine Yarns DK base, Smitten DK, that's the name of it. And then this one is in the Scruffy Gnome DK weight from No Makers, and it is mint chocolate chip. I think those will be really nice together. These have both been in my stash for a really long time. Okay. Hopefully I'll be able to finish 4 patterns. I got some Oliver and S patterns. They were having a sale, 40% off. And Autumn, who's Coddington on Ravelry, told me about it. I'd been waiting to get some patterns from Oliver and S, so I jumped on it. Some of the ones that I wanted were only available as PDFs. So I got the School Bus Family Pack, which is like a basic t-shirt or raglan tee for the whole family. So I'll be able to sew those for everyone. And then I got the Sandbox pants and shirt. It's like a sweatshirt and kind of cargo pants in Joshua's size. And what was the other thing? I think the School Days coat, which can be made into a raincoat. It has a hood. And I've been wanting to make the kids raincoats. I really want to try out like the waxed or coated cotton. I am so curious, and I think that will be really fun. There's some really great fabrics out there. It's hard to find raincoats now that have a big enough hood. Oftentimes the hood is way too small, and then it's not actually covering their head. It's kind of back here. Well, that's not really helpful. But they did have some in actual physical patterns, which I prefer. I don't like cutting and taping, but that's fine. I'll do it if I have to. I only have to do it once, and then I'll make a Swedish tracing paper pattern, and then I can go from there. So I got the after school shirt and pants pattern. And I like this one because it says it can be made out of quilting cotton for the top. So I was thinking I could use that Crazy Cats fabric that Megwin got to make that top. I also got the Secret Agent trench coat pattern. This one is so stinking cute. It has a version like this, and then it has kind of a more flouncy bottom version if you wanted to make it more girly. But I think either one would work. It has like a gathered, here, I'll show you on the back. This one has a more gathered bottom to it, and this one has more of a clean line. But again, I would like to make a coat for the kids. My husband asked me to make him a coat, and I thought it might be better to start with a kid's coat, so I ruin less fabric if I screw it up. And then the last thing I got is the roller skate dress or tunic pattern. So you can make this obviously dress length or a shorter tunic length. And Megwin loves to wear dresses over pants, so super cute. So that's what I got from Oliver and S. So thank you, Autumn, for telling me about that sale, because I had all of those in my cart for a while, and I saved 40%. Okay, wool piggery from Jinx. Her Christmas colors this year are awesome. And one of the ones she put out is Christmas lights. So last year I got her gingerbread house, and I still have enough of that to make a pair of socks for Megwin. I made a pair of socks for me, so I'm gonna make a pair for Megwin. But this one is red and then a variegated stripe. So it's 3 rows red, 3 rows variegated. It's really pretty. You can see like the speckles in there. It's gonna be awesome. I'm excited about this. And then from Knit Picks. Oh my god, I can't get down it. I have been wanting this color of City Tweed DK for a long time. So I went ahead and got it when they were having their sale. I think, again, I got this 40% off. So it's a sweaters quantity for like 30 bucks, which is pretty awesome. So this is Knit Picks City Tweed DK in the lemon curd colorway. So it's a tonal gold with tweed. I love it. And I'm going to make a sweater pattern by Alicia Plummer. I'm thinking charbroiled, but that's wrong. I'll have to show it to you next time. But it's a hoodie, basically, with a drawstring, I think. Is that right? Drawstring on the bottom, maybe? But I thought it would be nice for kind of casual wear that's a little more fancy. A little bit nicer than just a sweatshirt hoodie. And it's going to be warmer, too. And I love this color. If you didn't know, yellow is my favorite color. And this is a really beautiful, rich golden yellow. So I'm super excited about that. That's going to be so amazing. I made a hoodie for Megwin when she was a baby out of the romance colorway of that. It's kind of a red cranberry color with tweedy flecks. And it is in amazing shape. And she wore it constantly, and then Joshua wore it too. So it's a really good yarn. It's a good value. Okay. And then I also got, during the Small Business Saturday, a skein of Moonstone Dye Works from Tommy of the Squirrel Pie Productions podcast. So this is her Christmas colorway. She has one other one. I don't remember the name of it now. I'm sorry. It has like pinks and stuff in it. I would love to have it as well. But by the time I got this one, it was gone. So this is a new base she's starting to carry. It's a Polworth DK base. And it's called Christmas on Mars. And it helps when I hold it right side up. Christmas on Mars. So it's gray with flecks of teal and red and black. And I'm going to use this for colorwork mittens as well. And I ordered a skein of Vamp Miss, which is Kristen's new Christmas colorway, on the Smitten DK base, and it's a very deep red. So I think that's going to look amazing with red, and then this. I might have enough to also do a hat. We'll see how that goes, but I think colorwork mittens will be really amazing out of that. So that's that. I've never knit with Polworth either, so I'm very curious. And then the next thing, I'll show you my stitch markers real fast. These are my other two itty little bitty delights stitch markers. I got a peppermint mocha. The detail on it is just crazy. I have a picture on Instagram as well, and I will try to insert it after I show these to you because they're not getting in focus. Stop looking at my face. Ha, there we go. So this has gumdrops, little peppermint discs, tiny peppermint sticks. That's amazing. I think this was called like the Candyland cupcake. I love it. It's so cool. And then of course the s'more. And then my friend Andrea surprised me and gave me an ornament. A stitchable sheep ornament from Katrinkles. She gave me the sweater ornament last year, and I haven't stitched it yet, but I need to do it. I want to have both of them on my tree. So it comes with the ornament, and then it comes with a little string to hang it on. And I'm thinking I'm going to use, I have a pink boucle wool, and I might use that because then it'll look kind of sheepy and it'll be pink. So that'll be fun. And then the next two I'm going to show are club yarns. So if you are part of either the Inner Circle Yarn Club from Wool and Vine Yarns or the Gilmore Girls Club from the Yarn at Home Mom and you haven't received your yarn yet, I'm going to show it now. So this is the first installment of the Inner Circle Yarn Club from Wool and Vine. Oh my God. These are based on A Court of Thorns and Roses series. So it's teals and purples and black. And I got my club on the blitzed base because I need to feed the gibbon, as I call my sparkly blanket. So I save all my leftovers for that blanket. It's gorgeous. I'm never sorry when I sign up for a club with Kristen. I love them every time. I have serious, as Laura from the Jinx Yarns podcast says, FOMO, fear of missing out. I can't not sign up because I did it once. I didn't sign up for the mystery skein from Halloween, and that's when she did Mooncusser, and thank goodness my friends bought an extra one because they knew that I would regret it, and then they sold it to me. Because those are real knitting friends. I love it. I can't wait to see the other two installments. They're going to be awesome. And then the other one, equally awesome, from Shannon, who is the Yarn at Home Mom. It's called You Made Me a Santa Burger. Oh my gosh. This is one of my favorite Gilmore Girls episodes. It is, I think, the one where her dad has a heart attack and ends up going into the hospital, and Luke drives her to the hospital. But before she gets that phone call, he makes her a Santa burger because she's having a really awful time of things. And he makes it out of like a hamburger patty and 2 buns, and it's open-faced, and then it has mayonnaise on it and pickle eyes and a tomato mouth. And why I'm looking down is because the stitch marker is the Santa burger. And it's from Little Bitty Delights. Look at the eyes are pickles. I can't even. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Nope, it's not gonna do it. And then here's the yarn. So it has the pickle green, the red for the ketchup, the brown for the burger, and the cream color for the mayonnaise. But it's so Christmassy. I love it. I want to make, seriously, all the Christmas socks, you guys. I wish I could, like, knit all of my Christmas sock yarn into Christmas socks, because that's what I feel like doing right now. So I think as soon as I'm done with, well, really, as soon as I'm done with the summer berries, like, I'll be working on Christmas yarn, because Peppermint Mocha is a No Maker's Christmas colorway. Okay. That is all I have to show you. So I'm going to really quickly run through the cows that are going right now and then the cows that are coming up. So we have the Advent cow going on right now. I'm co-hosting that with Anna of the Anna Knitter podcast. I have the FO thread in my group. She has the chatter thread in her group. We're both going to draw for prizes. You can enter as many objects as you finish into my thread. And they can be anything. It's a make-along. It's not a knit-along. So I have in the FO thread, I have a header, and it tells you everything that's acceptable to do. So just go read it. And then that will be closing up on Christmas Day. I'm probably going to close my thread on the 26th because I doubt I'm going to be home from my mom's in time to close the thread, and frankly, it's Christmas. I don't want to be thinking about that kind of stuff, so I will do it the day after Christmas. So if you finish it up Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, the evening of Christmas, feel free to enter it. If you wake up before me on the 26th and get something in on the day of the 26th, good for you. That counts too. So for my prize, I am going to sew a bag. I will try to make it winter themed and not necessarily Christmas themed because you're not going to get it until after Christmas, and I'd hate to give you something that you then can't use until next year. So that is what I'm planning on doing. I think Anna is going to gift at least one Ravelry downloadable pattern, maybe two. I don't remember. You can watch her podcast and read her thread to find out what her prizes are going to be. So yeah, get your stuff in. Enjoy the holiday season, the Advent season, and yeah, craft along with us. Just got a message from my husband that he is done working out. He's just got a shower and then he's coming home, so I gotta wrap it up. So cows for next year. The first one we're gonna start with is the adult garment cow. If it can fit an adult, it counts. Probably teenagers will be fine too because they are basically adults in sizing. And it's going to be 3 months long. It's going to start in January. It's going to end the 1st of April. Whips are allowed, so if you want to use your Christmas Eve cast on to cast that on, feel free to do so. I never have hard and fast rules on things needing to be a brand new cast on because I have a million whips and I'm not going to judge any of you who have the same situation. So, any yarn, any pattern, it can be crocheted or it can be knit. When I say cow, I mean knit or crochet. Both are acceptable. Okay, so that's that one. And then I'm going to do a year-long knit along / crochet along. And I noodled around with this idea the last time that I podcast, but I've solidified it. So I'm going to do what I am going to name the Stash or Shelf Challenge for all of 2018. And what it is a way for me to try and think outside the box for my stash and my shelf, aka my knitting books or knitting patterns that I already own. So your virtual shelf counts as well. Knitting books, magazines, patterns. So anything that you own as of January 1st is going to count as being on your shelf. And then any stash that you have as of January 1st counts as being in your stash. Am I gonna police you? No, there's no way I can know. So you could lie to me and whatever, that's on your conscience, not on mine. But I'm gonna use it as a way to motivate myself to try to use one or the other of those things. So the details. If you knit something with a pattern that you already own, you can use new yarn for it. If you knit with yarn that you already own, you can use a new pattern for it. If you want, you can use a stash yarn and a pattern that you already own. Hey, awesome. Double points for you, but it doesn't count for an extra entry, but hey, you're doubling up on using your stash. So it still leaves me free to buy new patterns if something really cool and exciting comes out, and it also leaves me free to buy yarn if something beautiful and shiny comes in front of my eyeballs, because I know that I like to do that. But it'll be a way that I at least check in with things that I already have, and I think it'll be fun to be creative about it. So I already had a list that I posted in my teaser photo on Instagram. And I came up with a hashtag, so it's hashtag Stash or Shelf Challenge 2018. And the reason I put 2018 on the end is because I would like this to be a year-long knit along every year for my group, because I think it's a really great idea and I think it'll be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys do too. I hope that that sounds fun to you, and get creative with your stashes and with your shelves, both physical and virtual, and enjoy it. I know I definitely will, and I already have a plan for what is enough knitting for me to do the entire year. I probably will deviate from that plan. That's going to happen because new shiny things will come along that don't exist yet. But those items that I listed on my list in Instagram are all things that I've wanted to knit for a while, or things that I bought yarn to knit and just haven't got around to it yet. So I at least want to knit some of the ones off of that list, and that'll be fun. So that's all I've got for you guys. Thank you so much for the great reception for my Vlogmas. I've had a lot of fun recording these short videos, and so far I have managed to post something every day. Not always a lot of content, especially the last few days while I've been pretty sick, but hopefully that'll pick up, because there's going to be more activities and fun stuff coming up that we're going to be doing, so there will be a lot more fun to be had. And I'm having so much fun watching all of the other Vlogmases that everyone else is producing. It's really neat to just check in a little bit every day with a lot of people that I have become friends with through the podcasting community and the Ravelry community. So keep up the good work, everyone, and have an amazing couple of weeks. If I don't podcast again before Christmas, Merry Christmas to everyone, and happy holidays for those who celebrate other celebrations, or have a great couple of weeks until I see you again if you don't celebrate anything. And I definitely will podcast before the new year, so I'm not going to say Happy New Year because I have plans, and I want to do a recap of what I have finished in 2017, because I think those are fun to watch for other people, so I would like to do the same. And yeah, I'm going to get off here so that I can get ready to head out the door to go see my family. So until next time, I will see you in Vlogmas. All right, bye.